About a month ago, I had a coaching call with one of my students, and he was a little bummed. He was down in the doldrums because we had spent the last couple of months working through, a product and an offering, and it was a great product, great offer, but it wasn't converting or wasn't attracting as many customers or leads as he had anticipated, as much as he had hoped. And he was starting to feel bummed and thinking, oh, maybe there was a mistake in the strategy, maybe there's a mistake in the offer. And so as we start thinking about creating a new offer, creating a new product, and pivoting, right? And so we're sitting there, and he's telling me about it and how it's not going very well, and it hasn't really converted into very many leads, and he doesn't know what to do. And his initial thought is, okay, let's try a new product. But as we started probing and started looking deeper, I asked him, I was like, okay, so how many people are you actually talking to, like on a daily basis about this? And the answer was zero. It was like, oh, I've posted once this week about it on social media, and I DM'd one person about it. And I was like, well, dude, that's the problem. It's not necessarily the offer. It's that nobody knows it exists. And then as business owners, like, God damn, I've done this one so many times where I have this great, amazing thing, and I think it's just going to sell itself. And that's just not how it works. Like, you have to, as Alex Hormozy says, advertising is the act of making known. You have to go and make the thing known, because it could be the greatest product in the world, but if nobody knows it exists and that it can solve their problem, they can't do business with you. So you have to overcome the obscurity. And so then when we looked at that, it's like, okay, dude, this is what you need to be doing on a daily basis to get leads that convert into customers, is that you need to make people aware of what you're doing. And there's a number of ways that you can do this, right? What we focused on was, here's what you're going to start with. He already has a social media presence, not a huge one, but enough of one that you can attract customers off of it, right? If you're starting from zero, that's maybe not the best play, but for him, he's got a couple thousand followers on Instagram and on Facebook. And so first, you need to be posting every single day. It doesn't have to be posting about the offer, but it needs to be posting every single day. Once a week, that ain't gonna cut it. In fact, you should be posting multiple times per day. For instance, I post every single day on LinkedIn, multiple times on Twitter. I post once every 10 to 15 days on YouTube. On the main channel for the Amplified Impact channel, I post once every single day. On Instagram, I post once every single day, plus a couple stories, and then once every day on Facebook. So like multiple pieces of content going out every single day on all these platforms, making people aware that you exist. I was like, that's the volume you need to get to at minimum. Number two is that is going to be organic reach, right? So you're putting out the content, and then people are going to see it, and if they're attracted, they're going to reach out and continue forward. But you need to be active as well, because honestly, creating a piece of content that goes out on social media doesn't take all day. It might take you an hour to make something amazing. So what do you spend the rest of your time on? Well, if you don't have any customers to fulfill, then you should be spending all of your time on outreach. So go into your followers on Instagram, on Facebook, and one by one, reach out to them and just say, hey, what's up? How you doing? What brought you here? I'm curious. Are you also such and such? Not going in there and selling. I don't think that's the way to use DMs. I think you go in there, you make a relationship. And again, advertising is the act of making known. So you got to make yourself known to them. They've already subscribed to you, so like they're generally aware of your existence. Now it's about fostering and deepening that relationship, see if there's an opportunity to actually help them. So we talked about, you need to be reaching out to 100 of your followers every single day. And of those followers, maybe one converts to a customer. But hey, that's one customer every single day. But at the end of the month, that's 30 customers, which is what? 30 times as many customers as you have at this very instant. That is how you grow a business, is by doing this hand-to-hand combat. It's doing the things that don't scale. In the beginning, that's how you get the traction. That's how you get the momentum. And then you can focus on delivering this amazing, awesome product. And then that customer turns into two through referrals, right? We'll worry about that later. But for now, if you're not getting any traction, you need to be focusing on just reaching out to people and making your existence known. This is how we built, so I talked about the window washing company. We started by knocking on doors. The escape climbing, the way that we grew that was by going and leaving comments on hundreds of accounts every single day on Instagram, and not like spam, just going and engaging and saying, hey, that's a really cool boulder problem you put up. Like, what's your favorite hold type, or like what gets you jazzed about those types of climbing holds, right? Just going and genuinely having a conversation, and one by one making your existence known. So a month after that conversation, my student, he takes this to heart and he starts executing, because he's an executor. He starts doing it. He comes back on our call a couple weeks ago, last week. And I'm like, how's it going? He's like, it's great. I have, I got 6 new clients. I was like, and this is like a fairly high ticket offer. So it's like, that's meaningful amounts of money. I'm like, awesome. Maybe it was like he had 6 leads, but 3 or 4 converted into clients. So you do the math on that. And I was like, he just wants to make 6 figures in his first year with this offer. He has another business, but he wants to make 6 figures off of this one. And I was like, dude, you're already there. Like because he's charging, I think it's $2,500 and maybe $3,500 for the package. I was like, you're pretty much there at this moment. You just need to get 3 or 4 clients every single month. Just keep doing that. Like whatever you're doing right now, that is working. Now it's just a matter of continuing to do the work. And so I share this with you because if you're in a business owner and you're not getting as much business as you want, you're not nearly as many customers, you're not growing the revenue, ask yourself, are you doing the work that needs to be done to make people aware that you exist, that the product is there and that it can serve them? And 99% of the situation that I've observed, people are not advertising their products nearly enough, and they're just taking it for granted that people are going to somehow magically stumble upon it. And that, in my experience, is not really how it ends up working. And that's not a reliable business. But what is reliable is if you create systems of inputs that lead to the outputs. The inputs is every single day, I put out one piece of content on all platforms, and then I reach out to 100 of my followers. And once I've worked through all my followers, I go back to the beginning and reignite those conversations. And you just keep doing that over and over and over until you've exhausted it. And then you can filter it or start layering in on other techniques for getting leads. But start there. So hope this brings you guys some value. As always, thanks for being here. We'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, stay hyper-focused, my friends.